I clearly had the ability to go toe-to-toe with literally anything in this world. Ancient monsters who'd been hiding for 10,000 years, gods that other gods bowed down to. I could hold my own against all of them. Every single fight, I gave as good as I got. But here's what nobody knew. I was actually just a regular guy with zero cultivation. And right when I was about to cement my legend as the undefeated one, this annoying system decided to pop up. Hey host, just so you know, you've only got 4 years left to live. I immediately spiraled. System, you have to save me. I've still got so much more fake flexing to do. Relax, host. Big Daddy's got you. Complete the tasks I assign, and you'll earn cultivation as a reward. Your lifespan will grow naturally from there. Okay, just tell me. What's the task? Your sect is holding a disciple recruitment in 3 days. All you need to do is take in the most talented disciple there. Do that, and you'll receive a full golden core cultivation reward, plus 500 extra years of life. I felt my soul leave my body all over again. Sure, I was technically the 108th peak master of the Heavenly Tao sect, but everyone knew I couldn't cultivate. Not even the weakest, most talentless kids would ever voluntarily pick a useless master like me. But then, something clicked. The corners of my mouth started curling up on their own. What if I challenged one of the stronger peak masters to a sparring match and showed everyone I could actually hold my own? Maybe, just maybe, I could pull off the bluff. 3 days flew by. The Ascension platform was packed with kids all grinding their way to the top. The rule was simple. Anyone with a mid-grade or higher spiritual root who could reach the summit within a single day had a shot at joining the Heavenly Tao sect. The first one to step onto the platform was a stunning young woman. Her name was Shui Nianyao, princess of the Water Moon dynasty and the owner of a supreme-grade water spiritual root. The moment she appeared, every single peak master started fighting over her. I watched the whole scene with envy, and it sent me spiraling back into my memories. At 1, I was already incredibly gifted. By 3, I could hold an intellectual debate with the greatest scholars. At 5, my master personally took me in as his direct disciple. But when I returned to the sect for my spiritual root assessment, they found out I had no spiritual root at all. I'd never be able to cultivate. Not ever. Even to this day, I still can't shake the image of my master's disappointment. He didn't say much about it though, just quietly started plotting to raise an alternate disciple on the side. Unfortunately, his plan never got off the ground. He fell in a great war between gods and demons, and as his only direct disciple, I naturally inherited his position as peak master. But because of my inability to cultivate, I became the go-to punchline at every peak master gathering. Still, all of that was in the past now. From here on out, I was going to write an undefeated legend that would be remembered for generations. I snapped back to reality, and suddenly noticed Shui Nianyao's eyes were locked right onto me. My heart jumped with excitement. Could it be? Did she look at me, see a totally normal-looking guy, and assume I was some insanely powerful master hiding my true strength? Was she actually considering taking me as her teacher? But just as I was about to extend the invitation, her gaze slid right past me and landed on the master of Kanglan Peak, her eyes filling with certainty. Before she entered the trial, her father had specifically warned her, if she ever saw a peak master on the Ascension platform who looked like a completely ordinary person, she should never, under any circumstances, become his disciple. Anyone else was fine. Meanwhile, the Kanglan Peak master noticed Nianyao looking his way and flashed her a warm smile. Nianyao, would you like to become my disciple? My Kanglan sword technique is literally everything water attribute cultivators dream about. This disciple, Shui Nianyao, greets her master. The Kanglan Peak master's face absolutely lit up. The other masters groaned and slapped their knees in frustration. But honestly, no one could argue. With a supreme-grade water root, Nianyao was always going to end up at Kanglan Peak. Around that time, a few more kids stepped onto the platform. None of them had supreme-grade roots, though, so the masters didn't bother scrambling. They figured they'd just pick through the rest after the trial wrapped up. Then suddenly, a young man in black robes with literal flames swirling around his entire body stormed onto the platform. His name was Ye Yu, the prodigy of the Ye family from Dragon Rock City, wielding a supreme-grade fire spiritual root. And he was here with one specific goal, to become the disciple of Liu Yan, who also specialized in fire-based techniques. Watching all this made me low-key jealous. Liu Yan clearly caught me staring and decided to mess with me, pointing in my direction. Hey, little disciple, this right here is the Cloud Residence Peak Master. Aren't you gonna pay your respects? Ye Yu immediately turned to me and gave a formal bow. Disciple Ye Yu greets the Cloud Residence Peak Master. But his eyes? Not a single ounce of respect, just pure, unfiltered contempt. Cloud Residence Peak Master? Isn't that just the useless Peak Master everyone talks about? I didn't even bother responding to Liu Yan's passive-aggressive little jab. Instead, I just quietly thought to myself, maybe I should find an opportunity to challenge this old man and see how we match up. Then all of a sudden, another young man stepped onto the platform, and every single eye in the place locked onto him. No way. Is that a sacred grade wood spiritual root? My disciple, look over here, look at me! Get out of here, that's clearly my future disciple. The second this plain-clothed kid showed up, every peak master completely lost their composure. But just then, would you be willing to take me as your master? The whole crowd went dead silent, because the one who spoke was none other than the sect leader of the Heavenly Tao sect himself, Mu Tai Yue. This disciple, Gu Fengchen, greets his master. My heart sank. That was literally the most talented disciple at the entire event. Was my undefeated legend really going to cap out at 4 years? Hey host, don't be sad. There's more than one sacred grade root out there today. And honestly, this wood type isn't really our vibe anyway. I rolled my eyes so hard. If there's another sacred grade root out here, how am I supposed to compete with the sect leader for them? This one's different. It's a hidden sacred grade ice spiritual root. Your odds are actually pretty solid. Following the system's guidance, I scanned through the kids who had passed the trial but hadn't been picked up by any master yet, until my eyes landed on a young girl in blue robes. A transparent panel appeared above her head. Sunan, talent, mid-grade wood spiritual root. Sacred grade ice spiritual root, hidden. By this point, the other peak masters had all shifted their attention to the remaining unpicked kids, looking to snag at least someone decent. Liu Yan, standing right next to me, went straight for a young man near Sunan who had a high-grade spiritual root. What's your name? Would you like to join my fire peak? With your talent, you'd definitely get picked up by an elder as a personal disciple. Chen Xiaohua, I'd be honored to join Fire Peak. After that was settled, he turned to Sunan with a big grin on his face. Miss Su, you heard what Master Lu said just now. Once I'm at Fire Peak, I'll be taken in as a personal disciple by an elder. So while you still have the chance, why don't you become my cultivation partner right now? Young Master Chen, with your talent, you'll definitely find someone far better than me. Sunan said all the right words, but deep down, she was anything but calm. They were from the same city after all. Now that Chen Xiaohua was an inner disciple of Fire Peak, there was nothing stopping him from going after her family back home. Meanwhile, out of the 1,000+ new disciples on the platform, all the ones with fine-grade and high-grade spiritual roots had already been claimed by various peak masters. Only the mid-grade kids were left with no takers. They'd have no choice but to become outer disciples. Liu Yan spotted this and turned to me with a smirk. My, the Cloud Residence peak masters' standards are still sky-high, huh? Another recruitment season and still no disciples? I just smiled and said nothing. Didn't give his little dig the satisfaction of a response. Instead, under his completely baffled gaze, I walked straight up to Sunan. Would you be willing to take me as your master? Sunan was so shocked she literally couldn't speak. Wait, a peak master personally wants to take in someone with a mid-grade root? Me, specifically? Is this actually happening right now? She snapped back to it and immediately bowed. Disciple Sunan greets her master. Congratulations, host. Disciple successfully recruited. Sacred grade ice spiritual root acquired.